Welcome to the top of the morning show. It's your girl TT from the D. I want to say good morning to everyone across the globe. It might be afternoon. It could be evening in some places. And you might say, how, TT? Because I have a vast listening audience. I'm going to shout out a couple of countries of where you can actually hear the TT Top of the Morning Show from TT from the D podcast. And I'm super excited. So whether you're listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or Anchor, I want to say hello, good morning, salute to all of my people in the United States, Bahrain, Canada, Philippines, New Zealand, Italy, Indonesia, Germany, Australia, India, Finland, United Kingdom, Switzerland, Mexico, Brazil, Denmark, Ireland, Netherlands, Egypt, Romania, Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary, Iraq, Cyprus, Belgium, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Jordan, Belarus, Nicaragua, Malta, Sweden, Zimbabwe, Portugal, Dominica, Lithuania, Tunisia, Kuwait, Maldives, Lebanon, Guam, Russia, Laos, Serbia, Vietnam, Spain, Azerbaijan, Netherlands, Denmark, Israel, France, Bulgaria, Finland, Bangladesh, Mexico, Argentina, Romania. There's a few more. Saudi Arabia, Puerto Rico, Poland, Indonesia. I think I said Indonesia. Japan, Ukraine, New Zealand. I think I said that too. Yeah, I just have to say salute, good morning, happy day to you, because I am super excited to know that I actually have a listening audience with such a vast range. Okay, when I looked at the analytics, I looked at it several times like, wow, like my podcast is heard in all these amazing places. Some places I visited and some I have not. Today's hot topic is, who are Generation Z? I was having some good, deep conversation with somebody, and we were talking Gen Z, millennials, things of that nature. And I really realized I didn't know much about Gen Z, because they are the generation after the millennials and before Gen Alpha. So roughly speaking, they were born mid 1990s and early 2010s, right? So like my older son is a Gen Z, and my youngest son is on the cusp of being a Gen Z. They're the first generation of digital natives, right? Because y'all know how y'all see them little babies in today's time. They can take your cell phone and swipe, find their apps, play their videos, or listen to music. And it's like they can't even talk half the time, but yet they know how to navigate a cell phone. Never knowing a whole world without the internet. They would know nothing about the world without the internet. And think back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in my time, I'm dating myself because I'm 48, but there was a time when you tried to get on the internet, there was the dial-up internet, and you logged in and it'd be like, and the little man would come. If y'all remember that, he would walk on the screen. I'm dating myself, but it was just like you dialed up, and it just until it connected. It wasn't no high-speed internet. It just went until it connected. The little man on the screen is so funny, but I'm like, that is the era in which I came from, right? Now, this coupled with the fact that they have a worldwide pandemic and a cost of living crisis to contend, like, right? They're dealing with that, but that's the formative years, right? Think about it, because it's really fascinating if you really think about it. Here are 8 different Gen Z characteristics worth knowing about. Make a note of it. You might know someone, according to consumer data, of course. So key characteristics of Generation Z, Gen Z. Number 1, they're growing up. Number 2, they're prioritizing saving money. They're more responsible with their money than some people that's our age, believe it or not. They love to travel. Now, some of us, we like to travel. right? But they love these Gen Zs. They love traveling. They always on the go. Might not even have no money. They might not even have their own place to live. They might still be living at home with their mama, papa, grandparents, roommate, and whatever. But they gonna find the money to travel. Number 4, they're prone to anxiety. They don't really deal with problems real well, though. Some of them, I've met a lot of Gen Zs, and I'm like, oh my God. Just, they run away from the problem. Like, I don't want to deal with it. That's their response. I don't want to deal with it. I'm uptight. It's like, okay, calm down. Calm down. Number 5, they see gaming as more than a hobby. These Gen Zs are serious gamers. I have one. And like I said, my youngest one is on the cusp of being Gen Z. Serious about that gaming. Serious. And no, they do not view it as a hobby. Like back in my day, we played Mortal Kombat, Pac-Man, what? Donkey Kong, what? Now they got all kind of realistic type of things where you can literally sit in there for hours on top of hours. Number 6, their environmental attitudes aren't as strong as you think they are. Number 7, they might define AI adoption. I believe that one. And number 8, they shape culture through social media. They do. We've learned a lot, believe it or not, and let's be clear, let's be honest. We learn a lot from the Gen Z through social media and things of that nature. We do. And that's just keeping it real. Y'all know we do. Now, I want to unpack the 8 things. I just want to go into a little bit of breaking it down because I said them kind of fast. I might elaborate on a few. But the number 1, they're growing up. You might think of Gen Zs as young consumers who are glued to their phones, because every time you look at a young person, it's like they don't leave home without their phone, like we don't leave home without our credit cards, right? Or gas in our car. Well, sometimes I be on that hot boy quarter a tank, pushing it to the limit. But in reality, they're climbing the corporate ladder. They're buying their own homes. And I mean, they are buying their own homes. Some of us, I don't even own my own home yet. But that's because I couldn't decide if I wanted to set up shop here or if I wanted to go abroad. And, I've been trying to say, oh, let's move and relocate and all that. But these young generation people, they're buying their own homes. They're also getting married and starting families. I know a beautiful couple. They are young, not 18, 19, but they're in their early 20s. They are married and they started a family and they are doing extremely well. And it's beautiful. I would love to interview them. I'm hoping that I'll be able to interview them in the very near future. But I love how they love on each other. I love how they communicate. They have a beautiful marriage, a beautiful friendship, a beautiful union. And they are Gen Z, right? Now, by default, coming into contact with new products and services for the first time, yeah, they are. Think of some of the more routine things in life, like home insurance, mortgages, right? Dishwashers, washers and dryers, right? Investing into your home, investing into these things that we overlook. Life insurance. Even Gen Zs understand how important it is to have life insurance. You got people my age that don't think it's important to have it. Some people's mindset and their posture is, hey, when I'm gone, I'm gone. It don't matter. It's like, what? The people that have to put you to rest, it matters to them. Especially if you've been one of those folks saying, I do not want to be cremated. I am not going to be cremated. Well, if you don't put things in place and you don't have family or loved ones that have a little bit of change, you might get cremated, sir, ma'am. Okay? Now, 11% of Gen Z expect to get engaged or married in the next 6 months, according to some research data. Now, this speaks to the older Gen Zs. The youngest in this generation are only just entering into higher education, right? These formative years, like, they see the difference between, I'm going to have to go to college. I was told I'm going to go to college. They're like, either I'm going to college because I want to, or I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to take on a trade. They understand what that looks like. Number 2, when I said they're prioritizing by saving money, yeah. And this data is from 2022. Research in again, studies show that Gen Z luxury spending habits is over the roof. However, some benefited from time living at home during the early stages of the pandemic, meaning they could save their hard-earned money. You know, when we downsized, some people had to quit their jobs. Some jobs laid people off because the people weren't coming out, right? But they're the generation that's most likely to say they save as much money as they want each month, but almost likely to say their priority for this year, 2024, is saving more money. So why are these young consumers so cash conscious? Well, 40% of them come from low income brackets, and 25% of them are more likely to be on the same average as the household in which they come from. Now, I don't know if I touch and agree with that, but I'm not a Gen Z. Okay. While life moves on and this generation grows up, rising costs are continuously going up. Back in the day, you could pay rent on a house $300, $375, $500 a month for, $600 a month, $800 a month. Now, that same house that you paid that low note on, they want $9,000. It's like, no, they want like $900 to $1,000 a month, and you're looking like, what? And it be in the hood, y'all. And I'm looking like, wait a minute. You want me to pay you this amount of money for this? And some of these people are slumlords. Let's be clear, that's a whole nother podcast. But some people are slumlords, and they really want you to pay that. Now, when I was doing my internship, I'm gonna tell you something that I learned. It was kind of like, yeah. Back in the time when I was doing my internship at the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office here in Michigan, I worked in the forfeiture unit, okay? And I learned about liens. I learned about confiscating vehicles, things like that, right? And it was quite crazy to understand how some people understand. How can I put this? Let me see. How could I put this? Their house that they're renting out, that's a piece of crap, and they're getting that good money. You already know what's going on. You know. They knew. And every time they had to get their house raided because of the people that occupied it, that they rented it to, I learned while I was going through that unit, people paid for the raid. If there was a door broken down or damaged or whatever, they had an understanding. But my thing is, after so many times, then the city will take your property. That's a whole nother podcast. But anyway, number 3, they love to travel. Remember, I said that Gen Z standing out with their traveling skills is immeasurable. It's immeasurable, because I know a few Gen Zs who actually have travel agencies, companies, and they're doing extremely well. No, they may not be Travelocity, Expedia, those that we know and go to, trust, tried and true, but they are doing well, believe me, you. And while they aren't likely doing things like their counterparts, they still love to travel, and 38% of the Gen Zs are still looking to explore to do more this year, believe it or not, at home and abroad, right? Now, number 4, they're prone to anxiety. This is especially the case amongst those in Austria. Now, we talked about Austria because I got listening people in Austria. So I hope that you guys are listening. But 2.15% are more likely than all consumers. Now, over in Taiwan, 1.9%. And then in Germany, I got some people to listen in Germany. They're 1.9 as well. They kind of tied up with that. But they make matters much worse. The number is on the rise, right? Now, number 5, they see gaming as more than a hobby. Remember, I tapped into that because I have an older young son who totally has never looked at gaming as a hobby, right? They actually could turn it they've learned how to turn it into a hustle. You know, they get in, they play these games, they do these challenges, they sell games, right? You buy a game and you're like, oh, I'm flipping this, or I'm tired of this game. You sell it and whatever, and boom, boom, boom. Now, which of these do you think is the least off-putting conversation topic for Gen Z? Sports, pop culture. Some people might be like, what's pop culture? Okay. Or gaming. And as it turns out, there are the most likely generation to play games. Even as they grow older, they'll still love to play games. Now, I do too. I come from old school Monopoly, Connect 4, Uno. What? Love me some Uno. Blackjack, Memory, Goldfish, Tonks, Spades, Speed. Some of y'all like, what's Speed? Like, oh my God. Amazing. All right, enough of that. I'm sorry. Number 6, their environmental attitudes aren't as strong as you think. What do you mean by that? Okay. Taking to social media to voice their concerns about climate changes. But for most of the posts, they protest. So it's not black and white. And when I say that, complaining about how things are, they're on social media voicing their concerns about the climate change and things like that. But they're not really into recycling, right? While millennials are more likely to pay extra for an eco-friendly version of a product, baby boomers are more likely to want the brands to be eco-friendly. Okay, I'm a baby boomer, okay? Now, so while there's some truth to that, Gen Z's is ruling. Number 7, they might define AI adoption. No, right. Now, AI took the world by storm in 2023, right? And it's kind of scary on what we're seeing. And there's no doubt that people have mixed emotions about AI. I know I do, right? Because it's just like, what? You can literally do all these things they're not right. And it's legal. What? Yeah. AI chat boxes and chat GPTs and just crazy stuff, right? But as AI becomes the mainstay, how do you think Gen Zs are going to handle that technology? Now, they are introducing AI information on the work front, right? They give you the option. Do you guys want to work with AI? I'm like, straight up, no, I don't. I'm good on it. Thanks for asking, but no, I don't want to adopt that. The Generation Z people are like, let's see what's going on with it, right? Number 8, they shape culture through social media. What does that look like? Well, social media is central to the Gen Z life. 86% say they're brought up in the conversation. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, 40% of baby boomers, like myself, we use our platforms to shape the culture in which we live, how we want to see it. Outside, like over in China, Gen Zs are the generation most likely to use TikTok. Duh, right? But they aren't the generation who says they spend the most of their time on it. Believe it or not, the most influence is shaping culture trends, and that's by baby boomers like myself. Who knew, right? Who knew? The bottom line about that is there's far more Gen Z people that are stereotyped than we think, right? They're craving and carving out their own way, their paths, while some of us are struggling, bumping our heads in the dark because we're on one-way lane streets. I ain't even say highway, I said streets. And people want to turn around and come back and go the opposite way, but yet we're going that way. You can't turn around and go back. But some people are, right? And while we might laugh at some of the Gen Zs, we really need to start looking at some of the Gen Zs for that fresh perspective. Because even the most established companies should prepare themselves for an innovative future by tapping into the Gen Z's mindset. In old-fashioned workplaces, these workers can be seen as disruptors, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You hear all kind of stuff like that, but it's like, oh my God, that's not totally true. Don't rock the boat. It's like, what? No, sometimes you gotta shake it up. Sometimes you do gotta rock the boat. Make sure you got a life vest on. But sometimes you do gotta shake it up. Rock that boat. Practices like valuing psychological safety and creative collaboratives, flexible work schedules, environments are very impactful. And Gen Z people are all for it. I know we battle. Like, we're productive. Some people are very productive working from home. Then people, when you interview, they love to say this. And I'm like, let's put that in writing as we move forward in life. Oh yeah, we got work-life balance. Do we? Oh, that's awesome. Because you're like, oh, okay. We know that we're moving out of the era of straight up 100% working from home. Gen Z is like, I'll just be an entrepreneur. I won't come back and work for Chrysler. I won't come back and work for Walmart. I won't come back and work for McDonald's. I'm going to work for myself. I know how to cook. I can make a really good burger. And I can sell lunches for those that don't want to do fast food or don't want to leave their offices, don't want to leave their area, don't want to leave their homes. I just want to get something that's kind of healthy. Gen Z people like, yo, let's teach them how to, what's the word I'm looking for? They teach them how to meal prep. And I know you might be like, really meal prep? Yes, really meal prep. But that's just something Gen Z people are doing. Millennials, we wouldn't think about no meal prepping. I don't remember a such thing as meal prepping. You had leftovers. Now, you want to say that's meal prepping, all right, but that's as close as we was getting to meal prepping back in the day. Leftovers, right? But something that I want you to remember about Gen Z is that their success as individuals is often linked to their overall success as a team. And the difference between Gen Zs and their older counterparts, Gen Zs, they care deeply about the work they do and the difference it is making on the world. While some of us millennials and others looking like, hey, I'm just here. I just work here. Or that's the mindset. That's the posture. That's the culture. And we should care more about our work. We should. Why not? But some people don't. I will say this, empathy and open communication are also critical for Gen Zs. Honesty about progress towards goals is important to them. It's a part of the way that they move. And it might not make no sense to some folks, but it makes all of the sense to them. Right? I would say communicate with integrity, right? When it comes to dealing with our Gen Zs. Because they are actually very intelligent young people. Sometimes they're not given the credit, or sometimes the credit is taken from them and they're discredited. We live in a world that time is changing, people are changing, yet the growth is stagnant in certain areas. Because while we have fresh ideas, as some people will say, well, we need to hire the young people, the Gen Z people, because they have fresh ideas, new mindsets. Yeah, all these wonderful ideas, but then they get partnered up, paired up, connected to people at work that's like, I ain't doing that. It's like, well, or you get it where some of these Gen Zs are bosses to people who are older. And the older people might be like, I got a child older as you. I got a grandchild older as you. You ain't gonna come in here telling me I've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years, whatever, yada, yada. Well, we gotta give them a break, y'all. If they are your supervisor or manager, the company organization, your boss, employer, supervisor, saw what greatness they have. I don't think that your boss, your organization, your supervisor, your manager decided to put somebody who's a Gen Z in charge of you and they just twiddling their thumbs. I don't think that. I think that they see the vision, they see the newness. We know the change is evident. Sam Cooke sang it best, "Change Gon' Come," one of my favorite songs from back in the day. We have to be ready to meet it. We have to be willing and open to embrace it. we have children that are from all these different seasons of life. Baby boomers, you know, millennials, Gen Zs, the list goes on and on. But if we don't respect them, if we don't work with them, if we don't try to understand them, if we don't meet them where they are, we will be the ones lost. Imagine this, and I'm dating myself again, but it's okay because I'm proud to be 48. So imagine having to type a paper, and a millennial is going to use a computer, right? MacBook, whatever. Old school, I'm going to break out the typewriter. While they can use backspace, I got to use correction tape. You understand? While we're trying to get an antenna to get the frequency on our radio together, the Gen Zs are like, the frequency is already there. You don't need an antenna. It's built in. And we're like, oh, we want to listen to music, so we might slide on our headphones and the music is right there. Or we want to connect to a stereo system. Gen Z is going to put it in there with the earbuds, right? Connect to their Bluetooth speaker. Different. Online banking, online ordering food, right? Look at where we've arrived, where we've landed, I should say. DoorDash, Uber Eats. You know, we've allowed ourselves to become lazy. Instead of hopping in your car and running up to McDonald's, you go online, trusting your information online. And you know we got hackers every single day. But you'll trust your information online. You'll order some food and you'll trust that man or woman to bring yourself. Now, it was one thing when we were ordering pizza. Because in my day, you ordered delivery. It was for pizza only. I don't recall. And if I'm wrong, and if you could say, no, back in so we ordered, okay. Let me know. Shoot me a DM. Shoot me an email. Put me up on something. At Teresa, Teresa, at TTfromtheD.com. Let me know the era and what you could order outside of pizza if you are what we call a millennial or what we would call a baby boomer. Because right now you could order groceries, alcohol, toiletries. I'm like, what? Instacart? Like, what? It's amazing. But guess what? It was a younger version of someone that said, you know what? We should have a business that does this, that, and the third. Older people said, nah, that'll never work. Look at them now. Look at us now. We can't say what won't unless we try. And I said all that to say, it's a blessing to work with, love on, and know Gen Z people. They are our future. Whitney Houston sang it best back in the day. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Because they do. They have and they are. Now the last couple of words was not from Whitney. But you understand they do, they are, and they have. Gen Zs are making a difference. We are reminding them that they are our future. And some of them are living accordingly, and they're showing us that they are worth our investment. That's all I got for you today. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And the next time you see a Gen Z, tell them you appreciate them. Tell them you love what they're doing, and you hope that they keep doing it in a positive note. Until the next time, it's your girl, TT from the D, and I will see you soon.